welcome to today's session. This is Shweta Roy, your English master teacher at Vedantu. And today we are going to start with a wonderful poem, The Bangle Sellers, from your ICSE class 10th poem, right, by Sarojini Naidu. So let us begin this wonderful poem. Before beginning with this wonderful poem, just let me ask you one simple question. When you hear the word bangle, okay, one second, let me take a pen here, okay. When you hear the word bangle, right, what actually comes in your mind? Bangle. So, what is bangle associated with? When I listen to the word bangle, I associate bangle with the jingling sound, right? Jingling sound. I associate it with female. I associate bangle with beauty, and I also associate bangle with jewelry. Okay. Also, I associate with bangle with embellishment or adornment, right? So do tell me, put down the words that you think about immediately when you think about bangle, right? Let us now see what the poem is all about, what the poet is trying to tell us about the entire poem in this poem, The Bangle Sellers, right? So, in today's session, we are going to have an analysis of the poem and the poetic devices, definitely also the vocabulary. And the next session, I will be talking about the important thematic concern, the symbolism used, and all the other, I mean, in-depth analysis, I would say. Today also we are going to have the in-depth analysis, but in the next session, I would actually talk about the various nuances of this entire poem, right? Of course, the important question and answer. So before coming to the second session, please have a look at this session as well. So let us begin the poem, The Bangle Sellers, and I would really suggest you all to keep the poem along with you so that when I'm talking about the stanzas, you could actually relate to the poem, right? So you should first know about the very famous poet Sarojini Naidu. So she was not just a poet, she was an Indian political activist as well, right? She was a proponent of civil rights, women's emancipation. So what is this women emancipation? Women's freedom, right? So basically she was a feminist poet, and we will see elements of feminism in this poem as well. So, as I told you, what comes in your mind when you think about bangles, and I said that I think about female or a woman or whatever it is, like girls, right, or woman or womanhood, right? So, definitely, this poem has also to do about feminism some way or the other because, well, we will see why, right? We will see when we start with the poem. Anti-imperialistic ideas as well. Okay, so she was a proponent of anti-imperialist ideas, women emancipation. She was an important figure in India's struggle for independence. All of you know this already from your SST, right? And she earned the sobriquet of Nightingale of India. She was awarded with Kesari Hind Medal by the British government during her work in the plague, during her work during the sorry, for her work during the plague epidemic, but she returned it. She refused that. Why? As a protest against the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So I would ask you here one more question. Who is the other famous personality who was also awarded something by the British? So you need to name the award as well, and you need to name the person who also refused, who also returned that. Okay, returned the title or the award or whatever it is. So you need to say what was he or she awarded, and you need to guess the person who was also who was awarded the same. Just like Sarojini Naidu, I told you that she returned the Kesari Hind Award. So who else returned such a prestigious award by the British? Do mention in the comment section quickly in the chat box. Also, you can mention right away. All right. So let me know. Let us know. Let's see how much you can. Right. So now we will start with the poem. And yes, one more thing is that Before starting with the poem, few things we need to know. That is, this poem is rich in lyrical pieces. So when actually, lyric beauty is there in this poem. So when you actually read the poem, you will see there is a rhythm. There is a particular rhythm. You can actually sing this poem, right? So, and yes, it is also replete with imagery and contemporary Indian themes. Now, when I say bangles, of course, you also associate it with Indianness, right? So, bangles associated with what? Indianness, which I forgot to mention when I actually told about the other words, right? So yes, the Indian women wear bangles, right? And it is a symbol of it is used for adornment, and it becomes symbols of certain things at certain stages of life. How I can tell you, I will tell you when I proceed with the poem, right? So when we read the poem, we need to focus on two aspects. One is the feminist aspect, and the second is the Indian aspect. So this was written at the time of as I told you, colonial rule. So people were forgetting about Indian culture. So we will see how the poet is, the poem of the poem is serving as a reminder to all of the Indians, because she is talking about the rich culture of the Indians, which we were forgetting, right? So definitely she portrays the beauty and the variety of India and its tradition. And also another fact is that India celebrates Naidu's birthday as as National Women's Day on February 13th. So we all know about International Women's Day on 8th March, right? But very few of us know the fact about National Women's Day, which is celebrated on February 13th, and this is, Sarojini Naidu's birthday. So as she was associated with women empowerment, so definitely her birthday is celebrated as National Women's Day. Now let's have a look at the poem. So let's have an analysis of the entire poem. The bangle seller. So let's get into the world of the colorful bangles, and let's see what the poet is talking all about in this poem and what message exactly we are getting when we see. So the first stanza begins with the speakers introducing themselves as bangle sellers. So guys, have you ever seen people selling bangles? Have you ever visited, any village fair where you see vendors, selling their products, trying to attract customers, right? In order to, and they shout, right? So how many of you have visited village fair or any fair for that matter, where you have seen, stalls, um, and people shouting, so that they can attract their customers, so that they can sell their products, right? So similarly here also the speakers are introducing themselves as bangle sellers. Now they are selling their articles where? At a temple fair. Okay, so there is a fair. If you have visited a temple, you will see that in some temples they do also have fairs, right? So there the bangle sellers are selling the bangles, and they are calling out to people, right, to buy their bangles, so that they can be attentive, they can have an attention towards the bangle sellers, and they can easily buy their product, right? And these hawkers, they describe their bangles. Now of course, whenever the shopkeeper or vendor or whoever is the seller is trying to convince the customer, right? So he or she is going to talk about their product in great detail, right? And talk about the speciality of the product. So definitely this is what the hawker is doing. So he is actually talking about the delicate, bright, rainbow tinted circles of light. So what is this rainbow tinted circles of light? This is the bangle, right? So the bangles here are referred to as rainbow tinted. Why? Why rainbow? Because they are of different colors, right? And tinted means colors, the tinge. Okay. Circles of light. So they are illuminated. They are very bright. They are very shiny, right? So they are, of course, round in shape. So circles of light, right? So emitting light, emitting luster. So they are very lustrous. They are also, you know, very colorful, and that therefore they are referred to as rainbow tinted circles of light. So if you are asked this question, I think you will be able to answer now. Okay, so they are definitely advertising their bangles, their products by questioning who wants to buy these bangles for their daughters and wives. And then it is important to note here when they ask you who is the speaker of the poem. This is very, very, very important. This can be asked. You need to know that there are several speakers. So there are different bangle sellers. There are many bangle sellers, right? It's plural, bangle sellers, right? But it appears as if there is a single speaker. It is appearing as if there is a single speaker. This is because of the fact that they have all the same purpose. So the poet is trying to unify them into one, right? So they are thus seen singularly as a class essence. So whenever you are asked who is the speaker of the poem, you will say the bangle sellers are the speaker of the poem, right? So most of you will say the bangle sellers are the speaker of the poem. But if you want to get that extra, if you want to create a good impression, you also mention the fact that although the bangle sellers are, that the speakers of the poem are several, it appears that there is a single speaker. Why? Because it is because of the fact that they all have the same purpose and they are seen singularly as a class essence. Please mention this fact. All right. So, question for you. So, do mention this answer. Whatever I have said, do mention this answer in the chat box right now and let me see how would you answer that in your exam if it is asked at all. Right. So, who is the speaker of the poem? Let me see how much you have, understood and paid attention to whatever I have said right now. So, please answer this question in the way that I have told you right now so that you can also get a practice for your exams and you mention this fact in your exams as well. All right, moving ahead. The bangles are called lustrous tokens of radiant lives. Okay, why lustrous tokens? First of all, it shows the Indianness of the poem where bangles are brought on several occasions. So all of us know that Indians buy bangles, Indian women buy bangles, right, on several occasions, and they are associated. So if you have seen different occasions, like we have so many festivals which are associated with where women actually wear these bangles, right? So this is somehow a symbol of happiness and prosperity, right? So therefore they are called the lustrous tokens of radiant lives because number one, Indianness. Number two, because bangles are associated with happiness, prosperity, because they are bought on several occasions by the women, and the women happily adorn themselves by wearing these bangles, right? Uh, Now, in the second stanza, from the second stanza onwards, the speakers talk of the different kind of bangles. So they are advertising, right? So now they are talking about the different kind of bangles that they have. Some of these bangles are suited for a maiden. So who is a maiden? A young unmarried woman. Okay, and a young unmarried woman. So as I told you that this poem is going to talk about women, or I should say women, in their several stages of life, right? So now the very first stanza, I mean the from the point where the speaker, the second stanza basically, from the point where the speaker is advertising about the different kinds of bangles they have, actually simultaneously it is also talking about the various stages of women's life. All right. So the first stage of a woman's life is the stage of a maiden, an unmarried woman, a young unmarried woman, right? Now, what kind of bangles do the bangle sellers have for these women who are young and who are not married, who are maiden, right? Silver and blue in color, like the mountain's mist. So they are the blue and the silver colored bangles are worn by these unmarried women, that is the maiden, right? Some of them are flushed, that is pink and red in color, like flower buds growing beside a woodland stream. So again, there is a simile over here. So there are so many similes in the poem, right? So some are flushed, like that is pink and red. So if you look at the poem, I have the poem with me. I also told you to have it with you. So some are made for a maiden's wrist, silver and blue as the mountain mist. So what is the figure of speech used here? It is simile because it is a comparison between the mountain mist, the color of the mountain mist, which is silver and blue in color, and the color of the bangles, right? And with the keyword as. So definitely, if there is as used, then of course this is a simile, right? Some are flushed like the buds that dream on the tranquil, right? So here, flushed, and flushed means what? Red in color. So what is exactly the meaning of flushed? When you become angry and your cheeks, the blood rushes up on your cheeks and your cheeks become red, right? So that is the meaning, exact meaning of flush, the word flushed. All right. It's what is blush? When you feel shy and your red cheeks become red, that is blush. But what is flushed? When you become red out of anger. So exactly that color is associated with here the red colored bangles, the pink and the red colored bangles. And yes, that is compared to the flower buds. Okay, the flower buds also which has a pink and a red color, and which grows beside a woodland stream, and others are green and glowing like the transparent beauty of newborn leaves. So some are blue and purple, some are red and pink, and the others are green. So these are the different bangles. These are the different colorful bangles that the bangle sellers have, right? And each one of them are compared with several things, right? So the first one, that is blue and purple, are compared with mountain mist, the color of mountain mist. The second, which is the flushed, the red ones, they are compared with the buds, right? And bud has also another connotation which I will just now talk about. And the third one is about the third one, which is the green, right? Green colored bangles, they are compared with the newborn leaves. All right. So these are very important because each one can be asked. I mean, anything can be asked from this stanza. So please remember these. All right. So, as I told you that in Indian society, bangles have an important cultural and religious place. Different colored bangles are worn by women in different stages. So, as I told you, this is a celebration of womanhood, and this is a celebration of a woman in her different stages, in different stages of her life. So we need to understand each stage of her life and what is the role. How does a woman, how does a woman pass her several stage in her life, right? That is what she's talking about. So as I told you, blue, green, silver, they are all worn by young maidens. And here, as I told you, that buds is an important point here. Okay, so what is that? Bud is here the symbol of chastity. So when the maiden is young, she is chaste. So that is symbolically represented by the word bud. Okay, so that is very important. Please note this. Please mind it. But that dreams present before us an image of young girls dreaming of marriage. So when she is young, when she is unmarried, she's a maiden, she's unmarried, so she has several dreams of her marriage. She harbors so many dreams of her marriage, right? So that is exactly meant by the phrase buds that dream. So it presents us the image of young girls dreaming of marriage, and buds specifically represent the chastity of such women. Then definitely she presents the poet presents the stage of youth in woman's life, unmarried girl. Now there is a question for you. Mention the colors that are given or hinted in the second stanza. Quickly, I have all at length I have described and also referred to what exactly is the color compared to. So do mention all those that I have just now talked about. Let's see how much you have actually grasped. Quickly, let me know in the chat box right away. Moving ahead, resuming the poem. Before that, guys, those who have still not taken the Vedantu subscription, guys. So those who are new, those who have already taken, they already know. And particularly for those who are new, guys, we have conducted a survey where we have actually come across with so many problems that you actually face in when it comes to education, right? So the first problem is you have so many doubts but no reliable source to actually deal with your doubts. Notes, you do not have notes, proper notes. Tests and assignments, also having problem in that, not able to get good marks in tests because of the lack of clarity, assignments if you, even if you have, you don't know how to solve, competitive exams you want to crack but not possible because of the lack of proper guidance, choice of schedule, choice of language being the other major issues. But we in our platform have given a complete solution. We have come up with a complete solution of all your existing problems, guys. So doubts no more, you it will remain with you. Why? Because we have master teachers and class teachers. So this entire team of class teacher is actually devoted to solving your doubts. So we have a special team only and only to solve your doubts, guys. So that is amazing, and definitely you will not be left with any doubts. So no gaps in your studies anymore and no hindrances in your studies anymore with our platform, guys. And notes after each session, you're going to get notes, assignments after each session, competitive exams, we also take care of that. Choice of schedule, choice of language is completely based on your convenience, guys. And plus, we also have amazing bonus features like micro course. So, what is this micro course? Let's say you get into the you have already got into you've taken the subscription, you get enrolled into the long term batch, right? Your syllabus is going on according to the structure, completely structural process in sync with your school curriculum, with all the notes, assignments, mock test papers, right? We have 200 plus mock test papers as well, so revision becomes absolutely possible, complete revision, right? Thorough revision, right? So let's say you get, and we also conduct tests as I told you. So tests are conducted by us, and we also give you the performance report of your test. So this is the performance report. So let's say you come, you see that you analyze with the help of your performance report. So performance report is going to help you in that. So analysis of your performance definitely, and you come to know that there is one chapter or two chapters where I need to focus on, where I need to have another live class. So is that possible? Of course it is possible with the help of our micro courses, which is absolutely free, guys. So if you are taking the subscription, micro course, crash course, these are all free. You can definitely take the micro course belonging to, I mean micro course pertaining to that particular chapter where you are having certain problems in, right? And crash course definitely, right? And the crash course helps you in complete revision of your syllabus, right? So we have 50 plus live courses and 200 plus mock test papers. So definitely I don't think any gap is left, right? We are constantly we are in an endeavor to actually give you the best, and constantly we are trying to fill up all your gaps which might exist when it comes to education, right? And personalized attention, which is not possible in YouTube, that you are going to definitely get in terms of doubt solving, in terms of any help which is required. All right, guys. So what you need to do is just visit this link vdnt.in/ytpro, and these are the options that you get. Choose your grade, choose your board. So you select 10th ICSC, right? Or then you will need to check out the details. So whatever details I have mentioned at length, you will get it. Click on get subscription. After you have clicked on get subscription, you need to check the three types of subscription. So 1 month, 3 months, 6 months you will have. So whatever you are convenient in, you can go for that subscription. Let's say you go for 6 months wala subscription. So if you ask me, guys, I would recommend you to take the 6 month subscription. Why? Because you actually end up paying less when you take up the 6 month subscription. 6 months is the standard duration, right? And if you take 1 month, 1 month each month for 6 months, you actually end up paying more than what you pay for 6 months together, right? And what you need to pay is this much. That is, it comes to, if you calculate, you are better in maths calculation than me. So if you calculate, you would see that it is just 9 rupee per class, not even more than that. Right? So 9 rupee per class, guys. It's quite affordable. Think about it. We are providing you, we are giving you 6 subjects, which is very, 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 essential, because if you do not give importance, equal importance to all the 6 subjects, you will lag behind in those subjects which you have actually taken lightly. So giving equal importance to all the subjects, that is what we exactly believe in, and that is what all of you should do. So we have maths, physics, chemistry, English, social science, biology, all the 6 subjects, guys. So all the 6 subjects, so many features. Just 9 rupee per class. That is quite affordable, guys. So think about it and visit this link. Use the coupon code SWREPRO. This coupon code is going to give you 15% off, guys. So this is very, very important. Do not forget to apply this coupon code to avail the wonderful discount. All right, so now let us move ahead with the third stanza, where the bangle sellers talk about the yellow bangles, and they compare the yellow bangles with fields of sunlit corn. How beautifully they have compared each bangle with elements from nature, if you see, right? The first one was mountain mist, then you have flush, then you have the bud, the then newborn leaves, and this one is fields of sunlit corn. So yes, we could also have a wonderful image of the nature, as well as she is simultaneously representing each stage of the woman's life that she passes through, right? So this is so who are wearing these yellow bangles? Bride on her bridal morn. How beautiful. Just look at the language, look at the description, look at the imagery in the language. How beautifully she's describing that the bride who has already married, newly married bride, in her bridal morn is morning, she is wearing this bright yellow colored bangle, and the brightness and the color is compared with what? With fields of sunlit corn. So when the fields of corn are lit by the sunlight, then it is the color which it produces that is compared with this beautiful yellow colored bangles. How wonderful. And then some bangles have bright red. They are bright red in color. Who are wearing this? They represent the flame of newly turned bride's marriage fire, right? So the fire again. So here you can see marriage fire. This is again a reminder of Indianness, because we Indians have this custom of revolving around the fire when we actually get married, right? So we in the Indians have this custom. So again, a gentle reminder about the Indian customs and rituals and traditions, which the Indians were forgetting because of the domination of the British. So she is trying to, give us a reminder of the rich tradition, the rich culture that we possess, right? So they represent the flame of a newly turned bride's marriage fire, that is the passion of a newly made relation, right? The red bangles also stands for her heart's desire, all right? The bangles are tinkling luminous, that is bright and shiny, tender and clear. They express both her joy of starting a new life with her husband and the sorrow of leaving her parents behind. Very, very, very important line. Why? Let me tell you. Because bridal laughter and bridal tear, that is what she is referring to in the poem. Bridal laughter and bridal tear. Okay, so bridal laughter means the bride is very happy. Why is she happy? Because she is going to start off with a new life with her husband, right? And why is she what about the tear, bridal tear? Because she has to leave her parents behind, right? So this is also a gentle reminder about the patriarchal system that is prevalent. So definitely here we can see the patriarchal custom. Okay, we can also see the Indian custom of marriage, right? So definitely Indianness. So many things all together in just beautifully expressed in in simple words, in very few words, right? So definitely, so this is very, very important. So when you are asked about bridal laughter and bridal tear, all of you will write about the joy of starting a new life, the sorrow of leaving the parents behind, but also to mention about these two factors that I just now mentioned: the reminder of Indian customs, Indian tradition, and also the patriarchal custom, right? So this custom of marriage where the bride is, supposed to leave her parents. So this is also definitely a patriarchal custom. So do mention, there's a slight hint, very subtle hint of patriarchy here as well. So do mention these 2 points. You will see that you create a wonderful impression on the examiner, because most of the students are not going to mention these 2 points, right? So in order to create a wonderful impression, get some bonus marks, you do need to mention these two as well. What we find striking is the use of, as I already told you, bridal laughter and bridal tears. So yes, you can see here again, the words convey the whole of a woman's transition in life from a maiden to a wife, and all the emotions attached in a single line. Do mention this in your answers as well. Woman's transition in life from a maiden to a wife. So from a maiden, she has now, so she is, the poet is now referring to the next stage of woman's life when she is getting married. From the stage of youth, from the stage of virginity, chastity, what is that called? Maidenhood. She's now becoming a woman, right? And all the emotions attached with it. So do mention this in your answers as well. So, as I told you, mention the colors of bangles in this stanza and what do they represent. Do answer this in the chat box right away. Let's see how much you have understood the poem. All right, moving ahead, the bangle sellers continue to advertise their bangles, and now they are talking about which bangles? Purple and gold flecked gray. This is the color that the bangle seller is mentioning. And who is wearing these kind of this colored bangles? Purple and gold flecked gray colored bangles is worn by middle-aged woman who has journeyed all through life. So you can see how, along with the different colors of the bangles, also what else is represented? The woman passing through several stages in her life. First, she was a maiden. So every woman, every girl passes through all these stages, and this is a celebration of womanhood. This is a celebration of all the important stages in a woman's life that she has to pass through in her life. The first stage is that of a maiden, then she gets married, and then finally, when she is happily married and she is, a matron, okay, a matron over here. So this is the life of a matron, right? That is, she has journeyed through her life, a middle-aged woman, right? And they are for her who has raised her children well. Now here you look at this. She has raised her children well, has remained faithful to her husband and family. Again, talking, slightly hinting at the patriarchal system. Okay, slightly hinting, subtly hinting at the patriarchal system where a woman is considered as a successful woman only and only, a happy woman only and only if she has raised her children well, she is happily married, and she is faithful to her husband and family, right? So again, a slight hint towards the patriarchal system. And these bangles are perfect for those who have maintained their household with pride and worships the god at her husband's side. Very, very, very important line. Again, a slight hint towards patriarchy. Okay, so she is always at her husband's side. She has maintained her household with pride. So a woman is only successful if she performs all these duties, right? Being at her husband's side and maintaining her household, and also talking yes, and she serves her household. So she has to serve her household, right? Another one is cradled fair sons on her faithful breast. That means she has taken care of her sons, nourished her son. Okay, only son is mentioned. So the word son is also important. So definitely the poet writes about uh, the qualities of a good wife. So a wife can only be considered as a good wife if she is faithful to her husband, serves the family, stands by her husband, So that is very, very important. Subtly, she is hinting on the patriarchal system. She could not do it, openly, because then her poems would not have been published, right? So, but very subtly, we can also get this hint of patriarchal system, system of patriarchy that was prevalent during her times and is still prevalent today. So, such a woman is truly deserving of the purple of the purple and gold flecked clay bangles in her eyes. And very, very, very important, as I told you, son is used to mean offspring. So when you are talking about your children, when she's talking about the children of the maiden, or sorry, of the woman, she's just mentioning the word son, somehow again hinting towards patriarchy. So the word son is again hinting towards patriarchy, where sons were considered more important than daughters, and people always preferred sons than daughters, more than daughters, right? So slight hint of patriarchy again. So, ingrained attitude of male preference, that is what she is talking about when she uses the word son. All right. So, definitely, overall, we can say the poem The Bangle Sellers, is a celebration of the female life. And because it talks about the several stages that a woman has to pass through when in her life, right? So the various stages of life, and also do not forget it represents the Indian culture and the role of bangle sellers in the traditional setup. So two important factors: various stages of women's life and Indian culture. Very, very, very important. You need to focus on these two aspects, the dual aspects of this poem, when you actually go through this poem. Purple and golden colored bangles represent motherhood. How? Do mention this in your answer in the chat box right away quickly. All right. So this is for you guys, the vocabulary. If you are not certain about any word, new words, you can definitely have a look at this. And now this is for your reference. And now let us talk about the poetic devices. So as I told you, there are many similes used. I have already mentioned them when I was talking, when I was actually reading through the poem. And first one is silver and blue. Some are like, so use of the word like, as, okay. Next we have metaphor, rainbow tinted circles of light. The very first stanza is having this. So rainbow tinted circles of light. The bangles are compared to rainbow, right? So definitely there is a comparison, but without the use of like or as. Then we have consonants, or rich with the hue of his. First of all, hue his heart. This is alliteration. Okay, this is alliteration. Then we have or, rich, desired, right? Repetition of the R sound is consonants. All right. So repetition of R sound, consonants. Hue heart, hue his heart. This is alliteration, because this is occurring at the very first syllable. I hope by now you have understood what is the difference between consonants and alliteration, right? And we also have assonance with, rich, his, right? Let me take a different colored pen so that you can understand it. Excellent. Okay, let's take green. So with, okay, his, I, okay, and desire, I. So we also find assonance here. Okay. So these are the different figures of speech or important poetic devices used in the poem. I hope you are clear with it, with this. And now the last part is, of course, the homework question. How does Naidu allude to the patriarchal system of her time? So we have at length discussed about various patriarchal aspects or elements which actually which justifies the point that she is talking about, giving a subtle hint about the patriarchal system that was prevalent during her times. So do mention them in the comment section, and from here we will take up the next session, right, where we will discuss the important question answers, thematic concerns, symbolism, etc. I hope you had enjoyed the poem, and do quickly hit the like button, and do not forget to visit this link vdnt.in/ytpro, and these are the options that you are going to get as I have already explained. So just a gentle reminder, check out the details, and then if you click on get subscription, you will see three types of subscription, and I told you that 6 months wala subscription is the most recommended one because you end up paying less than what you pay if you pay each month for 6 months. All right, guys. So the coupon code is SWREPRO. This will give you 15% off, guys. So do not forget to apply the coupon code, and do not forget to hit the like button. And if you still haven't subscribed to the English channel, guys, please do share your love and support, because just as you have done in the Hindi channel. Till then, take care and let's call it a day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do like, do subscribe, and do share the video, and do comment on the homework question below. So bye bye, take care. Thank you so much.